Did you put the internet on there? No. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. It is Funky Fresh Friday. It is Training Friday. It is the best day of the week because every day is the best day of the week. Keaton, welcome. We are here. We had BYOQ already once. We're going to go live again. And we have amazing people coming on board. Faith James is coming on in a couple minutes. Good morning, Dylan. Of course, good to see you. Also, Rob Deerdick, always here on Friday. If you guys aren't watching Ridiculousness, I started getting into it, man. Nobody does the student of the calendar like my friend Rob Deerdick. He is incredible. There's no doubt why he's so productive, accessible, and gracious with his time. Jake is in the house. Blaine is in the house. Questions are coming up faster than I can speak. Amazing. What kind of private coaching groups do you have and how often do they meet? First of all, everything I do is free. So if you want information, I have my own search engine, search.dmeltzer.com. You can look up, you get my books for free, ebook, audiobook, my templates for free, the overlap agreement, referral agreement, 5 daily practice, lessons of life. Just reach out to me, David at dmeltzer.com. It's pinned below, and my text message is pinned below. Reach out. But if you want more intimate one-on-one training, I have groups that meet once a week. And just reach out to me, be a part of the mindset group, the career group, the sales group. Just join us. And then I do have one-on-one individualized coaching and, of course, my business advisory. So those are your choices if you want me to help you to be of service and of value to you. Thank you for the question. All right, here we go. How do you make sure you start your day off on the right foot? Well, I have an unwinding routine. My tomorrow starts today. Start your day at 9 p.m. by unwinding, putting your mind, your body, and the soul in the best position to plateau and grow when the sun rises. Use the unwinding routine to put your body into a state of recovery so you have more energy physically when you wake up, but also that you can create the downloading capabilities when you are going to sleep by clearing the ego out of the way, because it will edge the gold out. It'll edge the goodness out. It'll create interference so that you should be receiving the most information and inspiration while you sleep to plateau and grow. Do not start the day at the bottom of the hill. Plateau and grow. Do not push a boulder to the top of the hill all day long just to have it be at the bottom the next day. Plateau and grow. You can do this with an unwinding routine. If you want my routines, just email me, David at dmeltzer.com. Ebook, audiobook. I'll send a copy of the book to you. Pay for it, shipping, everything. Don't worry. David at dmeltzer.com. What's your favorite thing about Funky Fridays trainings? I've been doing them over 21 years, free trainings. And I did one earlier today, BYOQ training, and I learned so much from them. It's my favorite thing. It helps to effectuate the mission of my life, which is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy by empowering people to empower others. And that's what my trainings are about. The ranges of my training, and all hundreds of them, are on Spotify and iTunes. I have the playbook. Check it out. Download the playbook, and you have all my trainings there. We launch them on Mondays. It's the number one training that I have. Faith James is in the house, and we are going to have Faith here in 1 minute as I answer these questions to 11:05 Eastern Time. Who does the rock of the family turn to? Probably who does the rest of the family turn to? My wife is the rock. My wife is the rock of my family. She's incredible. She's amazing. She's like Rob Deerdick. I adore my wife. She saved my life multiple times. She holds me in faith and the truth. She's a rock star and the rock of my family. And she stands about 5 feet tall, 100 pounds. So she's amazing. And anyone that's seen my wife or knows my wife knows I have outkicked my coverage, and I am far beyond grateful for who I get to spend the rest of my life with, the most amazing person, my wife, and I adore you. All right, where's my Faith James? Everybody here is like putting the name, and now it's confusing me. I gotta get smarter. Here we go. Here we go. We're going live. And chief brand strategist of the personal branding consultancy, Faith James. There she is.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning. We're learning everything today. It's my favorite. It's good to see you again.
It's awesome to see you. And let me just say, I love the way you love your wife. I love everything about it. It's such a beautiful exemplification of what it means to be a heart-centered man, not just the way that you serve the community, but the way you really stand for your family and for your wife, and to honor her and herald her in such great esteem. It warms my heart. So thank you for loving on her the way you do.
I think it's important, right? Like I tell people, there aren't perfect people, but there's perfect people for you. And I found the perfect person for me. And once I realized and appreciated how perfect she is for me, and we talk about humans being faulty individuals, and what I find is the more intimate we get with people, the more we start focusing in on the faults instead of the superpowers. Uh,
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I
It's
will
a
tell
choice. It's a choice. It's a
you, yeah,
choice.
90% of the things when I was a young married person with my wife, 90% of the things that used to bug the crap out of me, like, I'm super neat, which bugs the crap out of her, but she's super messy. And we've met in the middle over 24 years this month over this, but I like giggle now. Like I'll find, shoes on the stairs, and instead of like creating a war over the shoes on the stairs, like I just pick them up and giggle. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's her. Like, and I
Yeah.
love that about her because I'm not like that. And if she was exactly like me, it would be awful. And, so I think a lot of it is, that blessing, like you said, and I appreciate you pointing it out. But more importantly, I think you're in the most important position in America in your expertise. I really believe this because people can't even fathom how important everyone has a brand. And now communities are captured and communities are monetized. And this is an important aspect that never had existed on earth before.
Right.
And in that continuum, whether you're 2 years old or 200 years old, this is going to be very important as people understand the technologies that evolve around it. Your personal brand is you. It's your authentic self, and you can live literally off of your person, which is so beautiful. I never thought I could live off of my personal brand, and my grandchildren can live off of it. That's how important it is. What are some of the things that we can do to re-engineer people's perspective of how important the personal brand is?
Yeah, such a good question. And I absolutely echo exactly what you said. It's one of the most important things we get to focus on. It's our number one asset, because I like to say you are the brand. You're not separate and apart from when you are at work. You're not separate and apart from where you are in your online courses. You're not separate and apart from when you're in the supermarket. It's you, the 360-degree expression of you, right? God created us to be multifaceted, beings, and that's exactly who we are. And so if people can really focus in on the idea that people buy from people, people buy from people, and if you can get connected to that and understand that, even if you, as you said, you're starting off for the very first time, you just have the idea, the vision to be the CEO of you, or you've been in business for 10 plus years or more, it comes back to you, right? That saying, wherever you go, there you are.
I
And
love it.
so, right? And so once we get connected to that, then we start to really mine and dig in and excavate exactly what's underneath, because God's already created it. He's already said you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're a masterpiece. I always say we're created just below the angels. The angels are here. We're here. We have power infinite, and all it takes is work. But I tell you this, Thomas Jefferson's quote, people miss opportunities because it shows up in overalls and looks like work. Right?
So
You're
true.
such a perfect example of when I teach about the 10 C's of branding, and they're all important, from the content to the credibility to the character, but the consistency. So everybody within the sound of our voices, consistency. If you look at David is consistent. What did you just say? 20 years you've been
Yeah.
doing
Over
training? I mean,
20.
hello, right? So people know the promise of value is David Meltzer is always going to show up for me. Whether they understand exactly what it is you're training on that particular day, irrelevant. It's the fact that you are consistent, that you're showing up, and they can count on you. They can rely on you. And so if we can get to a place where we're consistent, whether it's Motivation Monday or Tell It Tuesday or Funky Friday, it doesn't matter. Pick something that you can anchor into and start to build content, build your presence so that the people can do what? Start to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah, and in the Bible, one of my favorite stories, Noah's Ark. And because it's the idea of exponential growth, acceleration, aggregation, segmentation, and how this works amongst time, that the vision of God was if we take two of everything, they will get two of everything, which will get two of everything, which will get two of everything. And then we'll be overpopulated someday again. And I may have to diminish everybody again back down to twos. Who knows? But I see the same thing in a brand. In over 21 years, I've been building my brand by saying, if I just get two people to show up to my training and they love what I do, and they'll get two people a year to come to my trainings. And this is true, Faith, right? Imagine where I'm at. I started out in my office at Lee Steinberg saying, hey, who needs some sales help? Show up, I'll buy you lunch, come into my office. And two of my employees, sports agents, showed up and they left going, hey, you guys got to come. And then people, and eventually, like, we were filling out my office. Then I had to go rent breakfast places and do them there. And, now with, Zoom, it aggregates, and it kept doubling and doubling. And so over 20 years, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 makes it 2 million over 20 years, getting 2 million people a year. Right. Yeah. And then it's 4 million the next year, getting 4 million. And I think you talk about people buy from people. People also buy on emotion for logical reasons. And Ryan Serhant, who is our friend, he said, people don't want to be sold to. They want to go shopping with a friend. Yeah. And that's, that consistency makes it seem like, hey, we're just going shopping with my friend Dave on Fridays or on Talk About Tuesdays, or, my favorite, More Good News Wednesdays, because I think Wednesday's got the bum deal branding of hump day. Like somehow this is a tough day to get over. I'm the other way. I'm shifting the paradigm of Wednesdays. It's More Good News Wednesday. I'm just getting started on the week. We're going to just keep, capitulating more good news, and God's blessing all of us. One of the other things that I love is names. My name means beloved servant. David means beloved. Meltzer means servant. And your name is so important to me. Knowing King James and understanding faith to me is the paradigm shift of my life, that I was so wealthy and unhappy without faith. And now I'm wealthy, worthy, happy, and healthy with faith alone. The GPS that has just rerouted me and made everything better. What does your own name, Faith James, mean to you?
Gosh, David, you're speaking my language right now. My gosh, let me just tell you something. I always say me and God are a majority. People ask, how do you do what you do, and you're here and you're there and all of these things? And I said, me and God are a majority. And so when you get anchored into faith, just even the small mustard seed, listen to how profound Jesus said, if you had even that, you could tell that mountain, be moved. He's telling us we've got infinite power within us. We just need to activate and align to it. And so for me, my name Faith is just really, it's personified the actual faith of the Lord. Like, I didn't always know this, obviously, right? We each get our different walk. And when I came to the full understanding, and we don't have time, but I could tell you testimonies of how God has shown it miraculously in my life, and that I know now that I get to be the hands and feet of God on the earth. So that's what my faith means for me. I get to go where I get to go. I get to share where I get to share. And if you can think about just hanging on to a little bit of faith, I'll tell you one story. When I first decided I wanted to become the CEO of me, and a colleague of mine said, hey, why don't you have a personal branding workshop? And it's like, a workshop? It's because I was still in corporate advertising at the time. So I rented out this, very posh, zhuzh, country club, of food, all of the goodness. And at the end, I was at the front of the room and I made an offer. Only one person, David, a room of maybe 50 people, one person bought a package for $297. And in that moment, I could lean into fear and go, holy crap, this did not work. Let me run back to my day job. Or I could latch onto faith and say, there's something here because one person bought something. You know the line from Dumber and Dumber?
Yeah.
Where he goes, what's my chances? And she's like, not good. And he says like 1 in 100. She's like, no, like 1 in a million. And he's like, so you're saying there's a chance, right?
Right.
If you can just anchor into faith and believe, this is what I talk about all the time. Just believe. It's the same muscle that it takes to lean into fear as it says, well, what if it does work? And so I walk around just in the state of being. Is every day Funky Friday? Not always, but in my knowing, I say it is so. So for me, there is no Hump Wednesday because I said, this is the day the Lord made and we will be exceedingly glad and rejoice in it. Every day is the day the Lord made. So yeah, I too totally reject Hump Wednesday.
You know what I love about the IG Live is that, I'm looking at both of us and, probably couldn't be two more different looking people in different places. And with everybody trying to separate us and focus in on differences, I'm someone who appreciates the differences, but I focus in on the sameness, the connectedness, the oneness of who you and I are. And, we're so aligned in our mindset, our heart set, and even the activities that have manifested themselves from that. And I don't think there's an accident why we're both in the same place as well, with the passion, the purpose, and the profitability of our lives, of elevating others to elevate ourselves. Genius, which is thrown around a lot, I always say is an expression of God. And that's being the CEO of me, is, allowing life to come through us.
Yeah.
Life longs for itself and we long for each other. And, once the paradigm shift with faith of I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am worthy, what am I doing to interfere with that which I already am? And when I see, I don't even think I have to move the mountain because I know that which created the mountain is inside of me and walks beside me at all times. So, that power, I don't need to move that mountain. I'm part of that mountain. It's part of me. I already have the little key to go open the door and walk through it. I don't even need to move it. I got power and so much light, love, and lessons in my life. Real quick, last questions. All of this faith, all of this mindset, heart set, and the activity of consistently expressing our genius, how do we apply that to building our brand, no matter who we are? What's that first step that people should take to say, okay, I'm feeling Dave and Faith. I get this. Okay, I get this question now. I don't know what to do.
Perfect. I'm going to support you. Everybody get your notepad. So you want to start with your vision. What is your vision? And not necessarily even just your vision for you, but what is your vision for the world? So my vision for the world is a world where, what would you like to see? It could be some of the things that move you, a world where every child is educated, a world where everyone's healthy and free, a world where, no one is being, sexually abused, a world where there's no sex trafficking. Do a journal exercise and just really get connected to what are the things that move you. It could be positive or it could be negative. Right? A world where there is no racism, a world where people are not judged by the color of their skin, but the character of their content. Get into that connection, because here's the thing, that serves as the filter for everything that you do. So if you are in, let's say, health and wellness, and you're say, a world where, children are raised healthy and there is no childhood obesity, let's just say. Then the things that you do, the content that you put out, the podcasts that you get invited to, you can then make informed decisions on, is this aligned to my vision or not? Proverbs, without, actually not Habakkuk, without vision, the people perish. And so that is the first thing that you get to do, because it's no different than putting your address in your GPS. You have to know where you're going. You've got to know where you're going. And the other thing is the trust and the faith. I'm going to come back to that. Have the faith and know that whatever you get to do is already inside of you. So if you make a left turn when your GPS is saying right, so you did this, Facebook ad instead of doing, a speaking gig, what is the GPS going to do? It's going to say recalculating. It's going to get you back to where you're meant to be. So just have the faith that you're going to get there. Start with your vision. What is it that you want to see for the world? Then your mission is your specific role in how the things that you're going to be doing are going to help the world achieve that vision. Then from there, your marketing plan becomes super easy. And let me just say one thing on content. Sometimes people get so wrought up of, I don't know what to say, I don't want to post. Here's a tip, nationaldaycalendar.com. every known holiday and unknown holiday onto mankind. It's National Love Your Pet Week. It's Brush Your Hair Week, whatever it might be. And then one of the things that I do in my group is we have this amazing thing called Your Life Gives You Content. So I would do, here's a picture of a plant. Make some copy and make that connected to your brand. So I was out in the Everglades with my husband. I saw this rock formation, this little bush growing out of the side of the rock. Content. Bloom where you're planted. If you're feeling stuck, you're feeling like your feet are in cement and you don't know where to go, just start blooming where you're planted. Make little steps, step by step. If you don't know how to make those steps, go ahead and connect with me, faith@faithjames.com. I'd be happy to show you the path forward. Easy. David, I eat this for lunch. I can make content out of anything. And so I teach people how to do that because they make it sometimes so difficult. And it's just really just show up authentically, teach what you know, be so focused on value. This is why I love you, David Meltzer. Value, 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 value. Give, 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 give. And then when it's coming time for them to work with you, it's an easy yes because they know your heart. They know you give a damn. They know you care.
Well, I'll tell you this, Faith, you're the ultimate GPS, and Faith itself to me it not only reroutes us and recalculates, but Faith is the only GPS that actually will change our destination to the better. So you may think on something, and that's what you are doing with your branding and with your consultative services. You're making people's lives better or making their situation better as ultimate faith, not only by rerouting and recalculating and re-engineering their own vision of self, but allowing them to find a better destination. I love you. Please visit me more. Everybody.
I will. Can I do a little? If you don't have David's book,
I'll send
I bought a bunch for my people because one of the things you get your mind right, you've got to read an amazing book from people who have gone ahead of you. It's free, David, right? It's free. You'll get it. Do some good reading this weekend.
I appreciate it because all that money goes to buy more books to give more free away. So it's the best thing I've ever done. Faith A. James at Faith A. James, faithjames.com. And we love you. Please come back. Thank you for all you do. You're one of my 1,000.
Oh, I love you. Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. Be blessed. Have such an amazing rest of your weekend. And again, my blessing for you is that God continues to anoint your life and just move your ministry in such a way that you do get to 1 billion+ people happy, free, and joyful. I love you. I love everything about you. Take care.
You answer my prayers. I ask God every morning for at least 10 people I can help and at least 10 people that can help me. And you fit in both of those realms. So I got 2 for 1 with Faith James. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye, David.
He's amazing. If you're not lit up right now, wow. I just adore Faith James. Amazing. Brand yourself. Never more important than ever to create a brand for yourself. Let's take a quick question before I bring my next guest on. Here we go. What is the difference between hope and faith? Well, faith is knowing you're going to get there. Faith is knowing. Hope is wishing. Both are good. You got to wish before you can know. But faith is much more powerful than hope. Hope is wishing you're going to get there with a positive perspective, mindset, heart set, and doing the things, the law of Goya, etc. But faith is knowing you're going to get there, and you're going to get there. I got faith. I got black card faith, right? I always say, there's like the green card, the gold card, the platinum card, and then there's black card faith where it's coming. See, the difference in abundance is when you have green card, you can only shop for a little bit. When you got gold card, you can shop for more. Platinum card, you can shop for more. But when you got the black card, you can have abundance. You can get everything, more than enough of everything. It buys everything, the black card of faith. So use that black card of faith in your life. Know there's more than enough of everything for everyone. All right, we are rocking and rolling. I'm going to bring on Audra Gold. At Audra Gold, CEO and founder of Verbal. And there she is. Incredible.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Like this, I'm not used to holding my camera when I do this. Sorry, I got to set it up here.
My tripod broke, so I've been utilizing. My left arm is so sore from training and now IG Live, so I feel you.
Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna make this work. But thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And just another great reason to use verbal where you don't have to hold your camera up. We can just put it down, right?
Yes, and at some point we will have live broadcasts. So yes, it'll be a great alternative.
Well, it's already a great alternative, and the amount of great content and the accessibility of audio is rejuvenating. It's always been so important. Audio is a frequency of vibration, and it goes far more than just the data that's carried through the auditory vibration and frequencies that are transmitted through years and years, as you know. But now we have such reach, such scale and scope. What Verbal's doing is being able to elevate so many people by giving them access to extraordinary content. What, at its basis, made, you lean into what probably was considered an antiquated form of transmission.
Yeah, I mean, I first of all, I think it's not antiquated at all because it's a huge part of the way that I learn in life. Like books, audiobooks, I consume, constantly, and I listen to be entertained. I have a bunch of radio shows I love, and of course, music is very meaningful, but I just thought it was so underserved. It's really been what I would consider kind of disrespected in the internet world, right? Like we never really gave audio a true home on the internet. We never really made audio searchable on Google and shareable on social. We never did all the things with audio that we did with video, and we did it with text, and for all of those reasons it's been very difficult and expensive, really, in some cases, to find great audio and consume great audio. And then for creators, we see people love creating audio. Look at Clubhouse, look at the podcast universe. People love creating it, but the vast majority of creators were really underserved. They had no opportunities to make money to support their efforts. And so we've really, created a framework. We take a lot of lessons from the YouTube world, and we've created a framework where we think we can help audio creators succeed at a much greater rate than any other platform has ever done. So that was really the inspiration.
And that inspiration is great, but convincing other people when we know something to be true. And I've always joked around. I have a face for radio, which led me to audio, but I also learned that way, right? I'm one of the few people that probably work out to Wayne Dyer. Like I've listened to Power of Intention probably 1,000 times for
Yeah.
1,000 outs, but I learn really well. I write my books in that way. I transcribe my audio because I speak and listen as an active listener. And so many people do process that way. But how hard was it to convince other people? We put ourselves in a mindset when you're
Yeah.
using, verbal as an inspiration. There's always resistance. People laugh at you, scoff at you, make fun of you. Now, of course, with podcasts and, of course, Clubhouse, it's obvious audio is so important. But what type of resistance did you receive, and what did you tell yourself, and how did you deal with the no's of the world where now everybody's applauding you for the genius that you are?
Well, I don't know that I'm being applauded just yet, which is fine. We have a lot of work to do
I
still.
applaud you.
Um, thanks. Actually, I mean, David, it's an ongoing, I'm still convincing people this is the right thing to do. And for me, you spoke a lot about seeing and vision and intention. And when this idea came to me, I saw it so crisp and so clear. And to me, it was so obvious. I thought, wow, I really tapped into this thing, and the whole world is just going to get it with me. Like, of course, it's just so obvious, right? But the reality is that a lot of things that made it click for me, and a lot of the reasons that I know this needs to be done and I know this will work. I have a lot of historical knowledge, and I've done a lot of work in the internet that has helped me see it, right? I know the frameworks. I know how the business works. I know how, listeners and users and even video watchers, I know how they behave online because I've been doing this for 20 plus years on the internet. So I think I was a little naive in thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to tell them this great idea, and I see it so clearly, everyone else will. And the fact of the matter is that 0.5% of the people I talk to get, especially investors, they don't really see it the way I do. But you know, I hear this from founders all the time, and you just have to keep going and showing progress, right? And then the more progress you show, the more people believe what you're saying. And I think, you know, some people are more believable than others. If you have a track record of building companies and selling them, you know, then you're more believable when you have a vision. But you know, we'll get there, and we just keep doing our thing, heads down, and just keep showing progress every month. And that's basically how we're getting more and more people to quote unquote believe what we're doing.
Yeah, well,
Believe
belief.
in what we're doing.
Yeah, and belief is a sign of inspiration, and the inspiration is the codification of you being in spirit or connected to the truth. And you know, the more we stick to it, the greater it aggregates upon itself. Even though others, you know, I use Jack Canfield, one of my friends, and I was blessed to write a book with Jack Canfield and called
Mm-hmm.
"Creating Life You Love." And I thought to myself, man, this guy has the biggest franchise of content, the
Mm-hmm.
Chicken Soup for the Soul, over 500 million books sold.
Yeah.
And he was inspired by it. He was sure that, like you are, like I listened to you and I'm like, there's no wavering. Like
Yeah.
20 years, you've
It's
been,
too clear to me. It's too
it's,
clear.
and
Yeah.
yet it was very clear to him that Chicken Soup for the Soul was going to be, in his mind, the greatest thing next to the Bible. And that series of books have sold more than every other series of books on earth except for the Bible. And
Crazy.
124 publishers told him, no, this is a bad idea. And I think about, those are experts, by the way, right? The publishers, those are the experts. And
Yeah.
every time I'm truly inspired, including when I came up with, you know, my big mission in life to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, to teach them to make money, help people, and have fun. Like my first thoughts were listening to the publishers of the world, the experts of the world, thinking to myself, oh my God, people are going to think I'm crazy. They're going to think I think I'm Jesus or Tony Robbins or like, what, like, how can I even articulate this? But I've
Right.
been doing and empowering people for so long, and I knew this was what I could do to fulfill so many people's lives. Is I paid so much dummy tax. Basically, let me pay your dummy tax for you. And I listened to you thinking, wow, this audio solution is exactly what my mission is, and that's your mission. So, you know, it's really important to stick to the truth and allow everybody else to catch up. Einstein, by the way, when
Mm-hmm.
he created E equals MC squared, he was ostracized by the physics community because they couldn't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
10 years, he lost his wife, did a little bit of cocaine, you know, to deal
A little bit.
and other things. But think, like, if you say the word genius, 99.9% of the people on earth will immediately say Einstein, right? Just like Disney, entertainment Disney.
Yeah.
Genius. So basically, he's branded himself through his experiences as a genius, you know, through 10 years of being ostracized by who? The biggest geniuses in the world, right?
Yeah.
The Nobel Peace Prize winners, all of the Austrian physicists and German, and everyone said this guy's crazy. His wife left him. And so the reason I say this is that's what you represent to me. I can see it in your eyes. I can feel it in your voice. Because I think you really are onto something. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that has no resistance to what you're doing. Would love to see your deck. Would love to see who and how I could, if you're still raising money, help. Um, and so,
Yeah.
hey, those people. Last question. A lot of people don't know where to ask for help
Yeah.
because of that. Have you been able to learn anything about the process of asking for help through building your company?
Well, I have learned that I absolutely cannot live without other people's help. I can't do anything really without a lot of people's help. You know, it's been a huge community of people that have made this company happen and have gotten us this far. You know, it's funny because certain people show up for you in such, you know, bigger ways than others. And so we are still fundraising. We're raising our second round right now. We're just getting towards the end, starting going to hopefully be closing in the next couple weeks, but I'll get you all the information, of course, David, so you can have a look at the deck. But we're really excited about our new lead, and we'll be making announcements, like I said, in the next couple weeks. But you know, with that said, I have had some very dark days where, you know, I was feeling pretty hopeless and helpless, and it's only in the people that I reached out to for help that got me out of it and got me that next meeting or got me the next glimmer of hope or that conversation for a partnership that moved the needle. And so yeah, I have learned, not only asking for help, but asking the right people for help, because there are plenty of people that I've asked that are, of course, not have not been there for me, but there's certainly, you just have to, if you ask 100 people, probably 3 of them are going to be really pivotal in your journey, right? And so I just ask a lot, and I've learned, and I probably more so now than ever. I used to like to think I could do everything on my own, but with this process, with creating Verbal, it would have been impossible. So I've certainly learned that I am relentless in asking for help at this point, and I expect a lot of no's, or I expect a lot of non-response, and that's okay. I've also become quite bulletproof at this point with all the rejection I've received over the last 2 years. So, it's like, it gets easier. Every no gets easier than the last. So,
20 Dave Meltzer 25 no rule, right? You're just one more no closer to the yes. And
yeah, exactly.
I love being the last money in, so it's a perfect time for me to look at your deal.
Great. Yeah, I love it. I'm excited to get you all the information you need. Yes.
Yeah, I love swooping in at the end when everybody else is taking the risk and be
Right.
like, oh, that's perfect time. Anyone
Right.
out there wants to join me? So send that over, david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much, Audra. You're doing an incredible job. And I can't wait for everyone to applaud you after. I know what you're going.
Me neither. No. Thank you so much for having me again. Have
Take
a good
care.
day.
VURBL.com Verbal. Check it out. I'll look for your email. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Bye.
Get Verbal.
Yeah.
And one of my specialties, verbal communication, an active speaker and listener, articulating the quantitative value to exceed what I'm asking for. The greatest of all verbal techniques and values that we have. I'm going to take a quick question before we keep on moving on Friday. And we'll move it here. What's your secret to time management, and do you have a guide for it? My secret to time management is being a student of the calendar, and understanding the what, the who, the how, the now, and the why. But being a student of the calendar, studying, paying attention to, and giving attention to the coincidences that you want. Being a student of the calendar executes, frees, liberates the mathematical equation of luck. If you want to be lucky, be a student of your calendar. Study with the activities you have planned. Study the activities you don't have planned. Study your sleep. Studying is paying attention to, giving intention to the coincidences you want. Liberate the mathematical equation of luck. Email me if you want the document on being a student of the calendar, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want my book, ebook, audiobook, I'll sign a book, send it to you, pay for shipping, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to send me your deck, david@dmeltzer.com. If you haven't heard it enough, david@dmeltzer.com. You can also text me right here, 949-298-2905. david@dmeltzer.com. Remember, everybody, it's Funky Fresh Friday. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. We'll see you later. Thanks.